I'm Galzeerah. This is one of 2 short videos about posture. This first video is just a brief introduction to some habits, positions, and lifestyle changes you can make to help your posture and to be more aware of it in general. And then I will do a second short video with a few basic exercises. So just to kind of introduce, there are 2 ways we can improve posture, in my opinion. One is just being aware of it, reminding yourself to have better positioning, better ergonomics, knowing how you can change your daily habits. And then the other way is to actually change the muscle tension in a lot of your back, chest, neck, shoulder blade muscles so that you actually tighten in a good way muscles that are weak, that need a little more tone to hold you in position, and you stretch everything that's tight that tends to keep perpetuating that forward flex posture. So both are important. We'll talk about a few just basic issues with posture and how to be more aware and how to make a few changes. As you know, good posture leads to better health. Even if you don't work out or do anything other than work on posture, you will have health improvements, both physically, because all of your muscles and joints will be healthier and happier sitting in the position that they're meant to. You'll move better because you won't be working from a disadvantaged position. You'll have the proper positioning to begin with. Muscles will get more strength. So when you go to do something, you are less likely to strain yourself because you're not trying to overcome some weird posture to then lift your heavy item. Mentally, people feel better with better posture. There are really interesting psychological studies linking power posture, so where you're nice and straight and tall and taking up more space and spreading out your limbs a little bit instead of all curled in on yourself. These power postures actually make you feel more confident and capable. So, of course, psychological and physical benefits of having better posture. So, that being said, one of the biggest problems with posture today is we tend to be very sedentary in our work and our habits. So technology has its blessings and curses. A lot of us spend many hours a day working on a computer. So this is probably where people know, or at least are aware of ergonomics more. But if you have to sit most of the day in front of a computer screen, or even for just a few hours, some things to remember. And if you work in a place that has an in-house ergonomic specialist, please talk to your manager, get them to set your desk up properly. That will go a long way. But if you're on your own, some things to remember. Now this is a kitchen chair, not an office chair, so obviously, hopefully you'd have a better work-appropriate chair. But just so you can see, a couple things. You want your feet to always be flat on the floor. So if you're dangling, or if you're up on your toes, adjust your chair. You want your knees in line with your hips. So if they're up a lot higher than your hips, if your chair tilts so your butt is lower than your knees, that's going to round your lumbar spine, and then just everything up the chain, you'll be in a lot worse position. Use your lumbar support. If you don't have a good one, you can always improvise, get a special pillow, or even just at home. This is my kitchen chair at home. This chair isn't terrible, it's not great. We always put just a small pillow right behind the lumbar spine. So if you can get that nice natural lumbar curve, everything above will tend to have better posture. If you're all slouched and rounded down here, it's going to be really difficult to correct things up the chain. So lumbar support, feet flat, knees level with hips or even a little lower. And then if you have to work at a computer, make sure that your keys are at elbow height. So one big problem of chronic neck pain is the keys are up a little too high, and so you're having to do this. And having to do this all day long certainly will shorten your traps and make you miserable and give you headaches. So keys are in line with your elbows. And then make sure that If you have a backrest, it's not pushing you forward and you're not way back here and having to crane your head forward. Make sure your screen is adjusted correctly. If you haven't had your eyes examined for a while, make sure you have no visual changes. So if you have visual problems and you're squinting and you're leaning forward to read your screen, that can of course lead to bad posture. Make sure everything's in easy reach. Don't have your mouse way over here. So those changes will help if you're on the phone a lot. See if you can get a headset so that you don't have to be holding it. And definitely try to always avoid cradling the phone in your ear. So those are some work-related things. If you are fortunate enough to be able to get a sit-to-stand station, that's even better. And again, just make sure that if you're in your stand station, everything is here at elbow height that you have to type and mouse with, and the screen is level. So if you have a sit-to-stand station that only comes up yay high, and you're doing this, that's not helping you too much. So standing is better. We burn about 50 calories per hour more simply standing than sitting. Also, standing encourages less flexion, more neutral extension. So extension is this way against gravity. So that will help too. One other big postural problem, if you have to commute a long way, think of your car. Most cars are made to protect against whiplash and injuries in an accident. Because in this country our posture has gotten worse and worse, car manufacturers adjust, they build the seats to fit the average posture, which is like this. So often the headrest, if you have good posture, you sit in your car, your headrest is pushing your head forward, which I guess is better than getting a major whiplash injury. But if you can adjust it, get your headrest so that it's not pushing you forward, you're just resting against it. Also remember, in a car, try not to have the knees up higher than the hips, which will round your spine. If you can adjust so your knees are a little lower than your butt. Some cars don't have that option, so add some cushions if you need to. One other mindful habit to be aware of is with this lovely thing. So we are on our phones probably more than we realize. They can get addictive, so one, be mindful. Why am I looking at my phone? Am I just bored or do I actually need to do something? And then try to be mindful, even though you've got like 10 applications open and people are texting you. What's your posture doing? Stay aware of your physical body in the moment. So we often see people wandering around like this. This amount of neck flexion is a tremendous strain on all of those cervical joints. So instead of bending down to look at your phone, try to get in the habit of keeping your spine straight, bringing your phone up to eye level. Yes, your arms will get tired, but that's a good indicator that, oh, my arms are tired. You've been on your phone too long. They have, of course, pop sockets and things like this to make it a little easier to hold. Those can help. If you're sitting with your phone, instead of being slumped forward, again, try to get it up towards you. Use some cushions. This is too short, obviously, but have a couple pillows so that you can rest your phone up a little higher. So just some things to be mindful of. I could go into a lot more depth, but that's good for starters. So your workstation, your car position, and then what you're doing to your spine while you're on your phone. So thank you for exploring the basics of posture with me. I will put out another video for a few exercises. So again, we have the mindfulness piece of posture, being aware of what you're doing and making positional changes and changing your habits. And next we'll get into some exercise-based postural correction so that we will loosen tight muscles and strengthen weak muscles, so that way you don't have to think about it all the time. So thank you, my friends. Have good posture. Be well. This is Galzeerah Fitness.